Look, I've worked with dozens and dozens of recruiters over the past couple of decades in IT services, and landing on culture fits and working with TJ, it's really just been a night and day difference. The way that he understands our culture and who we are and really matches that to ideal candidates, it's much more streamlined process. We see that we're finding talent that just really fits our model, but really better than any recruiter we've ever worked with.
I was working at an MSP already, and Culture Fits reached out to me through my LinkedIn information and actually started talking about the position here at DKBInnovative. Didn't mention the company name or anything like that, but I was kind of resistant to that because I wasn't necessarily looking for something. But then he said, let me send you the website and video. And then I saw that night. And the next morning I called Culture Fits back and said, get me in there at all costs. Do whatever it takes to get me in there. And then he set up some interviews. I had to go through about 5 different interviews, and they coached me through every portion of that. So I knew exactly what I was heading into. And then after the interview, I got a call right back. How are you feeling about everything? How did it go? Just did a debrief. So all through the process, I just felt like I was really taken care of.
So before we started using Culture Fits, our process was to post a job, right? On our website, Indeed, Career Builder, just monster.com, whoever we could get to take the position and just post it on the internet for us. What that did is it just kind of opened up the floodgate, right? You have all kinds of people either looking to move to their next job, for more pay, for better culture, for whatever the case they're looking, or they just need a job because they don't have one. And so you're gonna get tons of applicants. We were getting thousands. And what we found is probably 80% of those applicants coming in didn't really read the job description. They were just applying for whatever was out there. And so their resume didn't match. And so we were spending just hundreds of hours of wasting time combing through resumes of people who weren't even a qualified candidate for the role. And when you post up a position like a project engineer, 9 out of 10 resumes that you're gonna look at are architectural engineers looking for civil engineering jobs, not for a project engineer in the IT field. And so by using Culture Fits, we just were able to recoup hundreds of thousands of hours in just doing the initial legwork of finding candidates to even start the interview process. And so that's where TJ and Culture Fits really helps us out, is he finds the candidates, he goes and looks for them and brings them to us. And as a result, we get a higher quality candidate.
So at the time that I was looking for a job, I was working with a number of recruiters, a lot of them reaching out to me via LinkedIn, for example, a lot of them for larger companies. So sometimes I wasn't even working with the same recruiter, even though it was the same recruiting company, because there'd be, for example, turnover in the process of them even trying to find me a job. They'd get replaced by another recruiter, taking up the other person's leads and so forth. So a lot of these were larger companies, or they were such small companies that their scope of what they could find me was really narrow. And it was just a lot of constant following up and back and forth. And really the theme that I noticed with a lot of them was it was just really hard for them to follow back up with me. They'd go dark, I wouldn't get a response for an entire week. So when Culture Fits reached out to me, TJ was always very responsive, very communicative. I never had a problem getting a hold of him or following up. Even when it seemed like, it was taking a little while to get a response for the position itself, he would constantly follow up on my behalf and things like that. So it really just made a night and day difference compared to working with all the other recruiters, both large and small.
Look, when you're running 100 miles an hour as an MSP and trying to solve all the problems that keep you from scaling, there's a lot of irons in the fire. One of those is staffing and finding the right people, getting your workforce tuned, and being able to keep up with the business and the growth of the company. And I think, yeah, you can go at it alone, and you can staff with administrative people and just keep up with all of the interviews, keep up with all the interactions, and create this great experience. But man, it is so hard to do that on your own. It's a specialty. And I think where Culture Fits comes in is they've really got it dialed in how they engage with our candidates and create this great experience and sort of pre-sell the company, showing the candidates how we operate, what we're like, what our culture is like, and just ensure that matchup from the very beginning. And so the candidates know what we're looking for, how we operate right on the front end. And we know about them as well, because TJ is sharing information and helping us understand who it is that we're interviewing before we interview them. And so I think all of that combined just accelerates the process, and it dials it in. Just like we're always after great client experience, we're after a great candidate experience as well. We want their experience all the way from interviewing to orientation and through their career here at DKB just to be excellence. And I think Culture Fits really understands that and tees that up well for our incoming workforce.